my friend Steve from ARackAbove, and today we're going to get a little bit more acquainted with your indoor garage rack system, and we can talk about why it's so important and why builders should want this.
I'm going to throw that back at you.
Yeah.
Why don't you take that question?
Well, tell us a little bit about ARackAbove, and as we talk about the features, I'll talk about why it's important.
All right, makes sense. So this is all aluminum. There's nothing to rust on it. It's all been, it's 110 aluminum, which is pretty thick. It's been engineered to hold 2,000 pounds of weight without putting a single nail or a single screw in the ceiling or the walls. So this is a completely freestanding system. Which holds 2,000 pounds of weight. It's accessible from both sides of the rack. It's adjusted to the homeowner so they can get to it without getting on a ladder and being very, very safe.
No screws into the walls is really important because, you know, if it's a block wall or if it's anything, you're creating a penetration in that. And then into the trusses, you're not touching any of the trusses, which are not made to hold a system like that.
Right. But you made a comment about if you put holes in a truss, you have to have some type of clearance?
We get a letter. So anytime you touch a truss or a damaged truss or anything like that, an engineer has to send a letter and then it has to go to the county and actually go into the permit packet.
So if I was to put ceiling racks in here, and I told you...
I would not, it would void our warranty on it.
But if I wanted to, and I told you, Mike, I'm putting some racks in my ceiling, you would tell me I have to get a letter and send it to...
I would tell you you're voiding your warranty.
Right.
Because it's something that could damage the structure of the home. But like anytime a truss is damaged, we have to get a letter from an engineer.
Well, that goes hand in hand with when I first started this, because I went down to the International Builder Show here in Orlando and literally spent the whole day just talking to 3 or 4 truss engineers to ask them about the implications of screwing into a truss and if trusses are designed to hold vertical loads. And hands down, they said as soon as you penetrate a truss, our warranty's void.
Yeah, it's one of the harder finger pointing matches that you can get yourself into. And for this, I think just the fact that there's no hardware into it and how easy someone could install it themselves, that they bought it and you shipped it to them.
As a matter of fact,
it would be really easy. And then the fact that like there's no damage, you can put it anywhere in your garage. If you wanted to move this, hey, you know, I really need to move it 5 inches forward, it would be very simple for you to do that.
Absolutely. Here's your toolkit.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, this is it. 9/16 socket and a crescent wrench, and you're done.
And so you're just basically following the Lego instructions to put it together.
Yeah.
And then you built it so that everything here can expand either on a more narrow garage or a wider garage. Like this one's 22 feet wide.
The big garage.
Yep.
This particular rack comes in 2 kits. I've got a 1-car garage kit that goes out to about 13.5 feet. And then past that, you've got a 2-car garage kit that goes out to 22 feet, which this garage took every bit of it.
Oh yeah, we like big garages.
Yeah, and the idea is that the legs also telescope up to 12 feet tall. Okay. So you can reach about any ceiling you want, and then the exception is this gets set to a customer's height.
Okay.
So if somebody's in this garage and they're 7 foot tall, we still got plenty of room to put stuff up there where he can reach up and grab what he needs without getting on a ladder.
Yeah, so you could use all the way up to this point up here and get your rack. Now,
well, keep in mind though, as the ceiling, as the legs go up, those adjustments are greater as well.
Yeah.
So they can go all the way up, and most totes are only 17.5 inches tall.
Okay.
So imagine having an 8.5 foot tall garage with a 6'2" guy. You still got 20 inches to put stuff up there.
Yeah, there's plenty of space. And I think one thing, I have the hanging racks in my garage, and they're terrible because my garage is really tall. You'll see it tomorrow. And so it being so tall, I got to get up on a ladder, and they swing, and then they got like all the bars, hard to get stuff in and out of them. Or like this, like you said, you can put it on the front, or you can come around here and you can put it on the back really easily. And then one cool thing is that you talked about the attic access before we started filming.
Yeah, so don't know if you can see, but the attic access is right here. You can literally just lift these decks out, put a ladder up in the middle, penetrate the attic, put this back up, put your items back on this top.
Really easy.
Attic service is done.
Yeah.
Super simple.
So if your air handlers up there or anything like that, it's easy to get to.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that it's so easy, so user-friendly, and adjustable to kind of anyone. It's a game changer.
Something else I just realized. You see the electrical panel.
Yep.
Well, Orange County Code says you have to have 30 inches between the electrical panel. Be able to have access, and the door has to open 90 degrees. So we've set several of these where this bar on the side will set up here.
Okay.
Above right where this rack is, so you get to it, and then set the lower one down here so you can still set it through your electrical panel. So there's not been a garage I haven't been able to do just because of the functionality and the flexibility.
Well, I have all the things that are probably bad in my garage, which I have like the wall racks.
Yep.
And then I have the hanging racks, which I don't suggest. It's just a function thing. So I think when we see it in my garage, it will be the perfect example of how a family of 4, 2 kids, strollers, all the stuff that we have.
Bicycles,
all there. Yeah, and our bikes, when we do a tour of what I have, my bikes are literally up against
the wall,
a cabinet, but yeah.
Yeah, so we built a integrated bicycle hook that you can adjust for bikes, and you can put up to 4 bikes on a rack, assuming you have room. I mean, this garage, you probably got enough room to put a couple bikes on here, but they don't drill into the walls either. So this is a complete storage system. Here you've got pegboard built into this, so you can take pegboard hooks and hang things on there if you want. So you can hang brooms, mops, blowers. Your wife can bring the stuff out from her laundry room tomorrow and get all that stuff on there. So it's life-changing. You're gonna be impressed.
I think the real life example couldn't come at a worse location. My garage is the worst case scenario because it's messy, and I literally have wanted to park a car in the garage since we've moved in. I have not been able to.
If ARackAbove can win you over,
yes,
you'll be able to win your customers over.
Absolutely. So, and then the final thing on the rack itself is I love the fact that it's made in America.
Yes.
Right now, so much stuff is overseas, but having something that's made in America by someone who's so passionate about the product is amazing.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's a huge deal because I can't tell you how many people who have come to me said, you need to make this overseas. You got to get the price lower. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'll figure that out as I grow to get the price down, but I'm not willing to take it over to China or take it over to Brazil or wherever and get the aluminum made. So yeah, this is right here in Florida. Eastern Metal Supply is the extruder for Penthouse Storage Solutions that makes ARackAbove and BikeAbove, and then Rapid Metal Products out of Lakeland is the one who does the fabrication for us. So it's a fully homegrown, Florida-grown product, created here, engineered here, and manufactured here. So super proud.
Yeah, it's my favorite part about the product. I love anything that can be made here. So we're gonna head over to my house, and you're gonna see one get installed, and the full transition of my garage will be live. Well, not live, but on YouTube. So,
we'll be doing it live.
Yeah.
All right.
So
hey, thanks for the opportunity. Looking forward to it.
It'll be fun.
And I'll see you soon.
All right, Steve. So yesterday we were in Winter Garden at the Spec House showing what ARackAbove does in a standard 2-car garage.
Easy assembly.
Easily assembly with nothing in there.
Correct.
It does a good showing, but it doesn't show you what we need it to do. So you said bring your very dirty garage. I live here with my kids and my wife, and we have tons of toys, and I have done no cleaning of my garage for the past 3 weeks in anticipation of this coming. So
this is a big unveiling.
This is it, yeah.
Okay.
It's the opposite of cribs. Here is the work of art. We're going to show ARackAbove taking all of the pain that I have in my garage and making it absolutely functional.
Perfect. Move that bus.
Yeah, let's go. So my goals for this would be, I have a lot of gym equipment.
You have a lot of stuff, Michael.
Yeah, I wanna be able to use the gym. I wanna be able to take all the crap off the walls over here. I want to park a car in here. And this cabinet, this white cabinet that I have in here, is absolutely not usable because my bikes are up against it. So like, we talked about usable width. So like, even if we don't hang them on the rack, because I have lots of lawn equipment and stuff that I wanna hang, if they go over there, those bikes fit in that space where all that is. So there's a lot of, I know it's overwhelming. There's a lot of function that I think we can do with the ARackAbove.
There's a couple things that stand out to me. Number one. Yeah. I can see they're not even used.
It's terrifying to get up there. So like, with this is a large garage, it's 12 foot tall. So to get up there, I've got to get on a ladder, and my ladder, I'm basically standing on the top of the A-frame, carrying heavy boxes of, crap in baby stuff and coming down the ladder. It's terrifying. So honestly, we just end up putting them here and stuffing them different places.
And those are not very stable at all.
No, they swing like crazy.
Right.
And the weird thing that you don't get with it, which I like about the rack above, is so you think that you're going to be able to get in the sides, but because they're so close to each other, a box doesn't fit through it. So you have to go all the way to the edge, and then you're almost falling over every time.
It's like playing Tetris.
It's really terrible.
Okay, so the good news is this. We don't have to move much of anything to get this rack in here. We can back out the golf cart.
Okay.
We can take this shelf out.
Okay.
And we'll put the rack right here.
Yep.
In between the set of cabinets and your garage rails.
Which will work the same thing between the squat rack and that, so
100%.
it's perfect.
And then the rack will be low enough that it's not even going to interfere with this.
Oh, I was going to ask about that. So
Yeah.
we can have it right under it. So
We're going to have it at your height, so you might lose a little bit of space there, but you've got so much height and you've got so much width that, to not be able to put one little thing underneath here, you'll still get stuff to stack. It just won't maybe stack quite too high, but yeah, we don't have to move much stuff, and this will be easy.
We got to make it tall. If we can make it tall enough that the sauna can go under here, that'd be
no problem.
Okay, sweet.
No problem.
Sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So next step is we're gonna time lapse and kind of do anything, and if we find anything that we want to talk about during the process, we'll stop time lapsing and get on to that.
Turn on the mics and have a conversation.
Sweet.
Okay, very good.
Ready?
Thanks. Let's get started.
Okay, so Steve, you got your toolkit here.
Yeah, this is my toolkit, a level, only to make sure that it's level across here to line up with the block so it's not tilted. A 9/16 socket on the end of a drill, and a 9/16 wrench. That's my toolkit.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
And so we're a little taller than the normal garage.
Yeah, this is a little bit over 12 foot. My rack can go up to 12 foot, but this is a little bit higher than I expected. So we're gonna solve that problem very simply. I had Michael cut a couple pieces of 2x4, and we're literally just gonna put the 2x4s underneath the feet.
Okay.
And that's gonna give us an 1.5 inches of travel that we need. Slide this all the way up, pin it, and do it on both sides, and we're golden.
Wow.
Since all the weight's sitting on the floor, those 2x4s aren't going to move anywhere, and it's going to be totally strong.
And then if say your floor isn't level, which garages typically are not poured great.
They actually slope towards the outside.
Absolutely. So you can adjust for the slope using these kind of adjustable.
Yeah, I got
feet.
4 inches of travel on each end. I try not to extend them as far as I need to, but I got 4 inches, and then these things literally will pivot to the floor or the ceiling.
Yep.
So yeah, never an issue.
Wow, amazing.
Okay, so let's.
What do you need me to do?
Nothing. I just need you to stand by for a second. I'm going to go ahead and bolt this up real quick.
I also got a 9/16 ratchet. Just wanted to fit.
So I always want to make sure I've got plenty of metal.
Yeah, you said that. So the concern wasn't the height itself. It was the fact that you want to make sure you have plenty of metal across them.
Yeah, I want to be able to put 2 bolts in here, especially at this height, to give it some extra added strength.
Yep. So you you can see that he's got the 2 bolts on the left side here.
There, so now we've got metal all the way up to here, but this is bolted with 3/8 inch bolts and nuts, so that's not going anywhere. Totally confident and safe.
My ring is gonna go crazy in the garage.
Yes.
It's telling me every 10 seconds someone's here.
Okay. So that's going to be that. And then what's really nice is, let me do this.
Here, I got a.
You want to use that?
No, you got it.
All right, that's one solid piece of pipe. Now, because I always like to see as much thread on the bottom, if you would, sir, just spin that out a little bit. Good. We're going to do this.
So you'd rather have the bottom be flush with the ground.
Correct. Well, I also have if you'll notice, there's a heavier nut on that threaded rod right there.
Yep.
And that is also to take some of the load, even though they're 3,000 foot or 3,000 pound feet, it takes some of the weight off of that thread. So, let's do this.
Well,
how much you got?
Bring it down and I'll give you a little more. And so all of the nuts on the entire thing are 9/16.
Correct.
That's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, everything's super simple. Okay, so now we're gonna leave that just like this and we're gonna set up the other one and we'll show you how this all goes together. We've got everything assembled, and now we're going to slide this into place. We're going to go ahead and just move this into position behind the existing rack. This is high enough where we can still get to access to the electrical panel. And Michael, if you'd be so kind to bring those blocks in.
I mean, we talked about this when we were at the spec house, but that panel right there.
Yep.
That ability to do that right there is amazing because I haven't been able to access my electrical panel easily.
Very good.
In probably 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of all the stuff that's in the way.
All that stuff that's in the way. I can.
See if you can lower that just a little bit. Because it's higher on, like we talked about earlier, the slope of the garage.
Yeah. Oh, and the bolt.
And I've got a enforcer. We can give it a little tap. There we go. Perfect. Okay, bring it out a little bit because we got to come off the wall to be level. So let me show you where the one I'm talking about. See how this box comes out?
Yep.
So that block's got to come out as far as that box.
Okay.
Like right here. There you go. So we're vertical.
Good.
All right. Now I can put this up against there. Now watch this. 9/16. That's perfect. So this is all you do, Michael. You just take this wrench, put it on the nut down below, few turns, couple shakes, not going anywhere. Same thing here. Now this one's out too far, obviously. All right, can you hold that right there and tell me when I don't want to.
When you're plumb?
Yeah, tell me when I'm level. Is that level?
Right there. You're good.
And you can feel these just start to snug right when you get a little tension on the drywall, and that's when you want to stop. You don't want to go too far to pop the drywall.
I mean, in a standard, obviously my garage is an anomaly, right? When we were talking about it, 12-foot tall garages are rare, but I will say I will never live without it. It's amazing.
Yes. That's it.
In a 8-foot or 10-foot garage, 9-foot garage, this would be
piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
But as you can see, it's a piece of cake here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Now we set our level here to make sure that this is going to be, and we are spot on.
Yeah.
So that side's done. Now the only thing we do is decide where you want to put the shelf. And to do that,
And where's our tape measure? Right here.
Right there.
So the height of the shelf in my ideal world would be just high enough that this can go into, which is 76 inches.
Okay, so we can put it right above, it'll be right above the first notch there.
Okay, and then this here.
Probably 80 something.
Oh, all right, we're good. So now both posts are up, both sides are up,
Both sides are up.
and then this is our center.
Yep. This is our rail. Set that rail right here.
Right here?
On the ground.
Okay.
Just like that. And we're going to take this one out of here. We're going to lay it down as well. Right there.
And do we want the logo to face out?
Yeah. So when your neighbors come over, they can see it.
Yeah.
We're going to put that there. Okay.
So that one has the logo, so that one will face, that'll be that side.
Yep.
So that's this side's leg. And then it's this one here. How much,
Now watch how easy this is.
okay.
So take this piece,
Yep.
and you slide it in here.
Okay.
Hold on, shit's not level.
No, we're on a mat.
Okay, there you go. Now when you get to here, you know that's the middle.
That's the middle.
That's the middle. So now all we do,
Show that. So this is pretty cool. So because you have the center post, right? You slide that center piece in there, and then when you see the two holes come out,
you know you're in the middle.
you know you're right in the middle. And then
Now you just
align
slide
the
this
post.
out to the width. Now this is a little tricky because we got some things in the way. Let me take this out of here.
Okay. Take the ladder out. Here. Do we need the ladder anymore?
No.
Okay. Put that there. Little lizard ride.
So now we're going to slide this out as even as we can to the width of the walls, which is about
20 feet.
20 feet, but we're going to go like this. Now we literally just pick this up.
Okay.
Oh, watch this. I can do it with one
You
person.
can do it with one person.
Yep, and put that in that cradle. Another engineering design that I created. And you're going to have to help me lift that one in there
Okay.
because you're taller than I am. Is it in?
It's in.
Perfect. That's all we need to do. Now,
And so this is cool because it doesn't affect my garage door opener at all.
nope. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our bolts and bolt those in at the end so we can adjust the middle. Okay, so you've got your bolts through there, so I can pull on this like that, and it comes. Absolutely spectacular. And you know it's lined up right when the bolts go through the holes easily.
Yeah. And so do you just keep these at hand tension and then
For now, yeah.
you crank everything down together?
Yep. As long as the bolts are in there, they're not going to go anywhere, so I can leave everything until we get the rest of the parts together. All right, we left out a couple little things, but we got the rails up. Did we tape the rails, Mike?
Yeah, we got the rails.
So the rails are up, center pole is adjusted. Last thing to do is just put these shelves in. And we do that very simply by just lifting them up and literally setting them over the rail. Just like that.
I think we're gonna have more than enough shelves. I mean, this tolerance is amazing. It's like right there. So you said this is like one of the higher ones you put up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I wanna make a little caveat here. This is not the normal height I usually set this. It's usually right above a homeowner's head, but Michael wanted this to be high because of the gym. So we set it to the customer's choice because the customer's always right.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay, Steve, so it's been a couple days because it took me a while to clean up my garage. But I'm surprised with how much storage we get with this rack. I was really blown away. I thought I had a lot with those two racks on the kind of box racks that you have.
Shelves, the metal shelves?
Yeah, the metal shelves I have over here.
Yep.
And I realized that they don't really hold anything.
Let's see.
It's minimal. So
let's see what we got. I'm excited.
So in here, I kind of organized everything. It took a while. That's the worst thing I can say about the ARackAbove is it made me go into my garage and go like overham on organization.
That's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing. Yeah, it was kind of the most annoying thing about it. It was like the setup was easy, the storage is amazing, the fact that it doesn't touch my trusses is amazing. But then you're really forced to kind of do a spring cleaning. So here, let's.
Let me ask you this: what'd you think of the assembly? I mean, you helped me.
I thought it was pretty easy.
Very easy.
I mean, other than the fact that we were doing it at its max height, everything was there. If this was a smaller garage,
typical
garage, it would have taken half the time. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we're gonna open up the garage here, and you can kind of see. I mean, it's amazing. So much stuff
Kaylee,
I realized.
Move this bus.
I didn't realize I had a lot of stuff, but now it's so easy to access.
You had a lot of stuff.
I had a lot of stuff. We have strollers.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, so look at that.
What a difference.
Now
come on in here,
golf
Kaylee.
cart can be used. I have my car in here. I have a whole section over here for bicycles. This is cool. We had that storage closet that we showed at the beginning.
Yep.
That I never got to use. I actually repurposed the cabinets and rebuilt a new cabinet. Now I have all my car detailing stuff. My golf stuff is over here hanging. That's easy and accessible. Over there we have like all of our bikes now. Now, like as a family, it's not a pain in the butt to get my bikes out of the garage. So like we can take my kids' bikes and we can take our bikes and go on a bike ride. Easily get our golf cart out.
Well, we'll have to shoot it side by side before and after because you didn't even have a car in here and all of this was just in disarray. Can you come in and show how all the reorganization of what is now a gym? Because before it wasn't really even accessible. The bike was over here, the treadmill was over there.
No, it made some functional sense where it was, but it took up way more space than it really needed to. And actually, I have so many storage mats that weren't needed. So I have like kind of everything: sauna, cold plunge, rack. I've got the Peloton bike and the treadmill over here, and all my shoes can go there. It makes it much more usable and tight. And then over here, like this is probably my favorite thing.
That's a whole different area.
Yeah, well, so I had to redo all my tool storage, everything, because I had all this storage in my garage, but I could never get to it because my bikes were on it and it was over here and it was just a whole mess. So now in here I have like everything organized, all my dog stuff, extra light bulbs, some more dog stuff, painting stuff. Everything's in here and easy. I even have extra space. So it was eye-opening to see
but
how
you've
much.
got workspace too.
Yes.
You can actually do projects now.
Well, actually, I can access all the tools that I had in this back corner, and then all my tools here are much easier and accessible. It was pretty amazing. And then up here, I know it's higher than what you're used to doing.
Well, I don't typically want to put it up that high, but you wanted it to go that high. So
yeah, it's my goal is to have it that high. So actually, like, it's so easy to get my suitcases, where before I had to like go around stuff and get it. Like, we're going to my sister-in-law's graduation tomorrow, and just to grab a suitcase, to grab it down, is like no sweat, no problem. And
stress-free, doesn't it? It makes it stress-free.
It was easy. Yeah, actually, and this could get reorganized again to make it even more easy, but I'm surprised at how inefficiently I packed it and how much it stores. I mean, there's so much room up there. I mean, we have literally a full car up there for my kids, which is dead, and I need to fix it.
And you must have enough confidence in it because you put your Corvette underneath it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that says a lot.
It was a little hard to figure out how to park it and get it in here, and then organize this stuff. But I found, when I was cleaning up my whole garage, I found this little ball that I bought for my wife when we bought our first house together. She was going to park her in the garage for the first time. But that house, we didn't have enough space in our garage there either to park. So I use this. I think I have to be kind of space conscious because my kids slam this fridge open because they come in here and get drinks and stuff. But it made it really, really easy. And now there's so much space in here, and we can easily we have a great, one thing that we didn't talk about is it creates a great traffic area.
Sure.
For everyone to
Let
kind
me
of go
ask you a big question. What do you think of that pole? Does it bother you? Does it bother your wife? Is it an issue?
I don't think it's an issue in any way. It creates a nice break in the middle of the garage, which I think if it wasn't there, that's somewhere where you'd start to just store more and more crap. Where I think it's very intentional for us. Like, it goes right from this door all the way out, and my kids can go. We load up the cars right here. Right. So I think the other most annoying thing about this whole thing was having to take apart those crappy shelves. They're so annoying to take apart. But take them apart, put them in the truck. We're going to take them over to our storage unit for the office, which will help make us a little bit more efficient there, where we just have a bunch of, like extra plumbing fixtures and stuff like that to get through CO.
One thing I wanted to bring up about this pole is this is typically, not where it stays. So anybody looking at this and they say that's a problem, this setup is back further than what it should be because Mike wanted to have it back further. And if you open the door right now, you will hit this pole. However, when we do normal assemblies, this pole would be up here in the front wheel of the Corvette, and you would have no what's the word I'm looking for? You'd have no problem. It wouldn't inhibit the door opening and closing.
I never thought about that actually. And for me, there was two things that I wanted to make sure when we did the rack was I wanted to have it not get in front of the rack that we have here for
Can you show them
the gym, and so it fit perfectly there, but also to showcase the fact that I can now access my electrical panel, which I haven't been able to access my electrical panel since we moved in. So we've been here for 3 years, and it's such a pain to get to this. And now all I got to do is open it up and we're ready to roll.
And I want to say something about that as well. I had an instance with a client probably a year ago who called me up and said, I need to take my rack down because she made up the story that it was inhibiting and it was illegal because it was in front of the electrical panel. And instead of going down there and tearing it out and making her realize that that wasn't the issue, I literally called the chief electrical inspector of Orange County, asked him to go on my website when I was on the phone with him, and asked him if ARackAbove has anything to do with breaking ordinance for the electrical panel. And he said, as long as you can access the door and you can take off the cover and you've got enough room to access it because you've got a portable unit and it can be moved, There is no violation and no ordinance broke with a rack above.
I have more ordinances broken on it because I don't have all the screws in than you do anyway inhibiting.
Correct.
Well, I mean, this has changed my garage. I'm so thankful. Honestly, if you're gonna think about redoing your garage, this is the only way I would do it. I showed my parents it on FaceTime last night, and they were like, "We need to do this. We need to think about our garage." My neighbor across the street was like, "Oh, you're redoing your garage? I want to see what you do." So this has changed my life, being able to have my favorite car that I own in the garage, being able to park in the garage and not have to walk here has been a game changer. So thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this is
trying to change lives on a daily, and to hear you say that means a lot. And thank you for your support. It really helps.
And for all of our customers, New Direction Homes, Ola Builders, any house that we build, renovation that we do, for the next 3 months from this video's post, you will get a free rack above with the purchase of a house from us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, see you guys next week.